G'day everybody and welcome back to Zero Access Footy episode number 29 today. We are once again joined with Behm, otherwise known as the Premiership Quarter, and we are ready to look at all things AFL Finals. We have officially gone through our first week of the finals and plenty of things to look at, including some pretty decent predictions from your end. Not too bad at all.
And yours too.
Yours was better. Look at us being all nice to each other for once to start off. That's a really, really nice and positive way to get going with the podcast. I have a good feeling today. We have ourselves, I already know that's going to come back to bite me, but week one results. We have ourselves to start off. Were we split on this one? I can't remember certain, but
we were.
This was a game that you could see it going both ways. I think a lot more people had it Crows because of the Pies play as of leading into the finals, but the Pies ended up taking it in a really, really solid performance by 24 points at Adelaide Oval and have secured themselves a home preliminary final as well. So well done to them, but story for that game for the most part seemed to just be the fact that Collingwood's experience and finals play really shone over the top of this Adelaide side that, look, they've still got some finals experience within that side, but they haven't been there since 2017. So they're still working things out. You would have liked them to handle it a little better considering how well they had played against top-end teams for the most part of the year, but Collingwood just took over them. Just took over them from pretty much go to woe.
Much better team. You could tell that, as you mentioned, that finals experience was a huge thing. I also think the coaching-wise, tactically, you could see the finals experience with the Collingwood box compared to the Crows box, where Adelaide didn't try anything new. It was very much, we're going to continue to play how we play rather than trying something different to either stop Collingwood or get ourselves better, whether that's ball movement, whether that's defensively or stoppage-wise, whatever you choose it. It was pretty clear that I thought Collingwood were the stronger team throughout, and that reflected on the scoreboard pretty much the entire way through. Something that I was really impressed with is, given their last game against Adelaide, the 71 inside 50s, and they had no genuine impact inside the forward 50, I noticed that instead of going to one-on-ones structurally, especially inside 50, they were kicking to 2-on-2s. And it forced the Adelaide defense to work together, which is something they don't want to do. They want to be one-on-ones because Keane and Morrill, like we've talked about many times, how good they've been this year, they weren't able to do that. And Collingwood, when they're not winning one-on-ones, they can at least get it to ground in 2v2s. And Mason Cox was a big part of that.
Yeah, I can't believe how Mason Cox continues to just play a massive part in every single finals campaign. He's had a good track record hitting the scoreboard. I don't think he did in this game in particular, and had some really, early on, I think he gave away a 50-metre to Riley Thilthorpe in the ruck. It was just a very silly thing to do, but I mean, other than that little blemish, it was the only real blemish on a night of positivity all around for Collingwood. It's like, this is what we kind of were hoping for, and have pretty much cemented back their first spot position that they've been in for the entire season. They had to do it the hard way, basically, but they now have a home prelim final.
Ridiculous.
That's insane to see how it's all turned around once again. It just shows the pedigree of this side, but this seems to be something that maybe we have to look out for next week. Is the finals pressure going to hit and strike twice? Because they play another side who've played more finals than them in Hawthorn, who we'll discuss very, very soon. But yeah, credit to Collingwood. I think one of the players to me, Darcy Moore, was one that really, really stood out, was on track to break intercept mark records and just in general intercept marks all over the place. And it does surprise me that Adelaide never switched around what they were doing. It was literally just keep putting it long, hope that their big forwards would make enough pressure to at least bring it to ground, but the intercept mark tally says otherwise. So
100%.
Darcy Moore on Tex, I think it was the big matchup that really, really cemented Collingwood's defence that night. So it seemed to be that was the main story for the game. But yeah, Crows go down by 24 to Collingwood, and we move on to the next qualifying final. We have the Cats beating the Lions by 38. Unfortunately, between these two sides, if the Cats win, it's always a big win. And if the Lions win, it's a close one. You don't get a close and exciting matchup each and every time.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of stories to go through with this qualifying final. But the Cats showing their class, I thought they'd maybe be a bit rusty against a really, really top side. But, I mean, they find ways. The Geelong system, the whole team from top to bottom. And I've analysed Chris Scott a little bit over the last week or two as to how he goes about footy and how he coaches his team. And he almost always stays directly on this. This is the time that matters the most for him. And it's finals time because he knows with the way that his team is structured, with the way that his team plays on its regular day, that this is their goal. That this is their bare minimum, and their goal is a grand final.
It's another Chris Scott masterclass.
It is.
Like, you look at what he did on the game on Friday night. Like, they had to drop Reece Stanley, and they resort to blitz Ives and SDK in the Rocket, basically split timing it. And they obviously it's against Darcy Ford, so
it's not like it's the biggest difficulty in the ruck, but it's not like they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Correct, and it just helped their midfield. Like, on paper, Lions midfield is much deeper, Bats deeper, like probably higher end talent as well.
I was going to say they racked up stats for sure.
And that pressure that they had, like we talked about that Collingwood and Adelaide game with pressure of finals experience. This was pressure in terms of just unrelentlessness and not allowing any time and space for Brisbane without like the most random goal you'll ever see, where it was taking risk at every single stage for Brisbane. Geelong were on top 100% of the game, aside from 5 minutes in the last quarter when the game was already done, and Brisbane got it back to 25 points in the end. Geelong, I hate it because they're successful for every year that I've been alive, basically, and it's not fun. As North Melbourne and St Kilda fans, we have never had a success, and they have only had success.
Well, hold on. Never had success. We've got 4 premiership cups.
Have we won a flag since either of us have been alive?
I was born the year after we won our flag.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm very close. Were you born in 1963? Didn't think so.
Wrong year, mate.
What, 1967?
Wrong year again.
What is it? 60s, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what year?
66.
Oh.
Get it through your head.
Doesn't matter. A long time ago. The point still stands. It's been a while.
Shut up. Don't care.
Either way, Cats, really, really big win. Impressive win. It's just quintessential Chris Scott. But we'll move over now to the next matchup.
No, we won't. Cam Rayner. We've got to talk about this.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We will talk about the Cam Rayner dive because this one was, it comes back to your bold prediction, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
You want to give a little explanation as to what it was for the people who didn't watch last week?
Might have to.
Yeah, give a little.
We went through last week 3 bold predictions. One of mine was an umpire decision will get slandered in the media and that it has the potential to be game-changing.
It didn't change the game, if we're being honest.
But at halftime, you very well thought it could have.
Yeah, that is true.
It cut the lead from 25 to 30 points to either 2 or 3 goals. And, it just very much wasn't there. Like, this probably happens 1,000 times at the stoppage alone, let alone 150 metres from the goal.
It's just because he hits the floor.
It's literally because he flops.
Yeah. And so if there's any time to find someone for flopping, it's probably right now.
And, yeah. The AFL came out and basically said, first one, not there. Second one was there, which, it was. Very much was.
Yeah.
And there's no argument in that one, but I thought it was very funny, and the crowd were booing him when it's not really his fault, it's the umpire's fault.
Yeah,
at the same time,
it's understood, but at the same time, he's trying to milk it. He's trying to play within the rules, but bend it to his advantage.
At least the fans won't get sued by the umpires for doing something wrong, like the AFL media were.
Yeah, I guess so, technically. That's a very interesting little thing to throw in there. Just a quick dig. Is that the dig at the AFL media or the umpires?
Probably a bit of both.
Bit of both, you reckon?
Yeah.
Considering that, I think it was Kane Corns and David King.
Kane Corns, Luke Hodge, and Daisy Thomas.
That's it. It was those 3 who were at the ire of the umpires because they had basically said that they said something along the lines of they shouldn't be umpires anymore, right?
I don't remember exactly what they said, but they said it because the AFL released wrong information. And didn't check all their sources.
Yeah. Funny times.
Guess what happens when the AFL has 0 access?
Yeah. That is a crazy bringing to try and squeak in the 0 access name in there. That's 100%. Good. We're going to move on, though. Giants defeated by the Hawks at NG Stadium by 19, and the margin should have been bigger. The Giants, their usual way of clinging back into it at the last minute, seems like. I'd say it's more the Dogs, actually, who do stuff like that. But Giants have been doing that a fair bit occasionally this year, where they have stretches of really, really impressive play. But the whole story of the game tells you they weren't in it. It wasn't going to happen. And this is a really impressive win from the Hawthorn Hawks, headed by Sam Mitchell, who looks to have a lot of different tricks up his sleeve.
There was a lot of talk about Mitch Lewis being dropped at the start of the game, and that's one of the things Mitchell obviously went with to bring back Weddle. And he played a bit around the ground late. He got moved forward when they needed to get back into it after the Giants kicked like 6 straight goals or whatever it was. And it ended up working because they won, but I don't know what would have happened any differently, because you could tell that it just worked. But like at the same time, the Giants dominated the ball. They dominated the inside 50s, and they looked not necessarily more dangerous, but they looked on top, even though the scoreboard didn't reflect that.
The problem is the Giants' ball efficiency. From everything I've heard, because I didn't get to watch too much of the game, the ball efficiency from their midfielders wasn't fantastic. So Finn Callaghan racked up some good numbers. Lockie Whitfield in the back line, obviously he's one of their main ball users off that half back to try and get the ball moving up their side of the field. And as the tsunami goes, it kind of likes to go through him. But yeah, Finn Callaghan. I don't know how Lockie Ash went. Do you know how he did?
He had a lot of bounces, but I don't know what his ball use was like because it didn't look great to me.
Yeah, but Tom Green was another one that someone had mentioned. There was a few little incidents where he could have kicked to the advantage of a player, but instead kicked wide out to space when they really could have used a bit more accuracy heading inside forward 50 to, take advantage of the fact that they're trying to push the transition.
Yeah. And to me, that sort of relies a bit on the coach, because when you look at the ins from the weekend, obviously Josh Kelly was the sub, and when he came on, he was really good. But Stringer came back in, who's a forward. Hogan came back in, who's a forward. And Cornelio came in, who's a midfielder, who is a bit iffy on the weekend. But
no Jack Buckley, which was one that I thought he was coming in.
Yeah, no, he's had a bad calf for a while. But to me, that forward connection sounds like an issue with bringing back players, A, when they're not necessarily fully fit, and B, where you just disrupt the chemistry that you had coming into it. Like Max Gruszewski was one who got dropped for Hogan. He'd been pretty good the last few weeks, and the team had started to learn his leading styles, and it's different to Hogan. And so to me, a lot of this, I think, falls back on Adam Kingsley to the point where nothing changed. Obviously, they had to bring in Kelly because Darcy Jones tore his ACL, which is very unfortunate.
God, that's awful.
But like aside from that change, there was nothing else that Adam Kingsley, that at least I saw, where he was willing to change or even did change, that ended up fixing their forward ball movement. And I think that's a huge criticism of him and his coaching style, because it's very much, I've got one of the most talented teams in the league. It's going to get me to a spot. What am I going to do now to help them improve? And I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. We've seen past finals failures where against the run of play, nothing quite goes for them. And we saw that last year with the 2 finals. We saw it this year as well, where they were down by 35 points or whatever it was. Got a lucky comeback and then didn't even challenge the Hawks in the last. And I just think that that's a huge blight on his career so far as a coach.
Yeah. Kingsley, we love him. I at least personally, I really like the way he coaches.
Got the guns. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, you like the way he looks, do you? Yeah, fair enough. But at the same time, he has been really, really solid when it comes to the way that his team functions and how aggressive their play style is. So when it works really well, but it's just been so topsy-turvy.
Yep.
And that's why the Giants are out of the finals.
And just a quick thing, I thought Hawks midfield really stood up in the season where
John
in the back end.
John Newcombe was fantastic.
Him and Warple, I thought the Hawks midfield was their biggest weakness, was their biggest strength on the weekend.
Well, yeah. Not Ginnivan. Newcombe has had moments this year. He's had up and downs, but finals, he keeps going up.
Yep.
Keeps going up.
In his 3 finals, he's been the highest rated player according to Champion Data in every single one.
Yeah, shout out to Newcombe. And then finally, oh my God, the group chat was going. Well, I say the group chat was you two talking. I was working at the time of this happening, but oh my God, what a game.
You pumped me up before. I got to pump you up on this one, man.
Well, calm down.
You mentioned my bold prediction. What was your bold prediction?
My bold prediction was one of the games this week was going to go into extra time. And
you didn't just say one of. You said this one in particular.
Yeah, true. I did, didn't I? I forgot I mentioned that little extra part.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at this stuff.
And you had the Suns winning in extra time.
Yeah.
Suns won.
Well, it wasn't in extra time, but I'm so much happy it happened the way it did than the way I predicted, because it's fairy tale stuff, man. That is so, they could make a document. If Gold Coast go on to be a dynasty, they could make a massive point of this game in particular. This is a bookmark moment in AFL history.
Yep.
It's so good that it happened the way it did too. Away from home, God, if it was a goal, it would have been even more fairy tale. I'm glad he got the reactions out as if he'd kicked the goal, because those are going to look great on documentary style footage. I'm just keen to see when this is talked about more in the future. But to think that David Swallow, the last remaining member of the inaugural Gold Coast side, has stuck it out for 15 years and got rewarded with the biggest moment in Suns history. That is a ridiculously exciting, fantastic. It's just what the game and what Gold Coast needs. I'm not even talking Gold Coast Suns. I'm talking Gold Coast sport. Gold Coast is notoriously awful when it comes to all sporting clubs. And that is what the Suns have been boiled into for a long time.
Yep.
Hopefully, starting now, that's no longer the case. They were so glad to make finals. They haven't just done that. They've won a final. And they're up against the Brisbane Lions, the first ever Q Clash final.
Can you believe we've got a Q Clash final before we've got a Western Derby final?
Yeah, that's crazy. That is
They've
really
been
crazy.
in the league almost triple or double the lengths for Fremantle, but ridiculous.
Yeah, but at the same time, just there's so many people around there. Like Mac Andrew, he continues to pop up in these big moments, kicking a goal to tie the game. And honestly, if the Suns had played a proper 80 minutes or 120 minutes, if you count the extras, of full football, this wouldn't have been a close game. They were playing at a pace and they were playing at a point that they could have kept the lead so far out that Fremantle didn't come back. But credit to Fremantle, and they've kind of been like that all year since their poor start. They've been fighting back ever since, and I think it give credit to Fremantle for salvaging a season that we thought was going to be done at some point during the year. But if you're a Fremantle fan, an insider within Fremantle, you're probably disappointed with how the season's gone, and it just feels strange. I'm always a little worried when talking about calling a finalist's season a failure, but from more people that I've seen, it's either one or other in terms of which side of the camp you're on. You're either, this is a disappointment, they should have beaten this Gold Coast side, playing at home, the talent was clearly there, they had what it takes. They needed to show signs both for the coach and for the club, and going out like this is going to hurt. But on the other hand, it's like, they could have very easily not made it. They could have not made it. And they're also, it's another building step technically. If things go well next year, this is just another step. It's another season of experience within a group that can work together a bit more. But the thought is, it's not going to be the same team next year, is it? With the biggest notable one being whether Sean Darcy comes back or not.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of questions about this. And for the most part, their list is pretty much set. Like, you look at their back line, it's Pearce, Cox, Ryan, Chapman, Clark, and Warner, and Banfield's been
They've got a bit of depth in there. Yeah.
There's really good talent there, and you've got Draper as well, who's another key position defender coming through. Their midfield, we know how stacked it is. Their forward line, the four talls, it works. And they've got a good small forward line as well, and they brought in Bolton. The thing is, what more can you expect? At the moment, they've got the team. And so when you're not winning a final in a season where you won 16 games, and they didn't win a final against a team that have never played a final before. They had maybe 4 players in total that had played a final, and one of them was Ben Long.
Shout out Ben Long,
so
Gold Coast legend.
Saints legend.
Saints legend too.
We'll never forget him knocking out Actually, no, he didn't knock out Jack McRae, but he got suspended for it in the 2020 semi-final elimination final. We would have won the fight. No, I'm joking.
Calm down, Saints fan. Calm down.
Issue is with Fremantle, it was the game style they wanted, because what they've been doing in the back half of the year when they have been successful is having a flash in the pan moment where they just have a really good stretch and are able to beat teams. We've seen it in fourth quarters where they just get on top. That St Kilda game, that Collingwood game, where they just come back really, really well. But then when the game's not on their terms, they can't score, and that's been a huge criticism of Justin Longmuir. And they defend well enough to keep them in the games, but then their midfield, which has been highly talented, and obviously there's no Hayden Young for a lot of the season, it just hasn't performed when needed to.
They can get shut down pretty easily too. You
and
think of Sarong's tags.
Yeah. Like Sarong's tags, Bolton has been very hot and cold this year, relying on Murphy Reid to be game breaker. Like, they're all young players, and so there's a lot of potential, but I personally don't see it under Longmuir, and I think he's holding them back to a sense. I think had they have unleashed the shackles, easily would have beat Gold Coast, with no doubt in my mind about that at all.
I see what you're saying, 100%. I think next year is going to be a really, really big year for this team. I think top 4 needs to be a lock.
Yep.
It has to be a lock next year. If Justin wants to keep his job, if they drop out of the 8, he's done next year.
100%.
I really think so. But top 4, which is also very possible, and hopefully he's taken this year and the year before and however many years he's been coaching as learning experiences, Dockers will be able to make it. They'll be able to get further. So call this a down year, call this an unfortunate event, but I'm going to call it a bit of a celebration, really. I'm just really happy that the Suns took this over. Mm-hmm. I'm really, really happy that they've managed to break a few things. They've needed it. They've really needed it. But we're going to now have a look at some of the predictions that we've kind of mentioned throughout all of this. And, oh, my God. I love our little references. Not on Akinator, bro. I love the little references that we have here. It's good, isn't it?
What is this? What is this?
Yeah, so a few of our bold predictions last week. Let me quickly bring a few of them up.
Sports comments reference?
Sports comments reference? Oh, my goodness. But one of my bold takes that you had brought up before was one game in the first week of finals going extra time. I did mention on top of that it was going to be that Gold Coast Freo game. It damn nearly happened.
Yep.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that nearly worked.
Pat yourself on the back for that one.
Yeah, I'll give myself a little pat. But
the one that I mentioned was the umpire decision. Technically, yes. I can't wait for it to happen again this week.
Yes.
It would be actually ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. I also had whoever loses between Collingwood and Adelaide will go out in straight sets. So Hawthorn over Adelaide. Honestly, I think that's a pretty decent chance of Adelaide losing it.
And guess what? My other bold prediction, Adelaide go out in straight sets.
So that's looking pretty good as well. I also had the final one, which, I mean, if for those who don't know, I had written down Gold Coast will lose by 60 plus, not realising that I'd also mentioned that the first game, that the Gold Coast Freo game will go into extra time, so I had to change it up a bit on the fly. What was my other one? It was Ben King would kick 6, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was way off. They're bold predictions for a reason. They're bold predictions.
Exactly. My final one was we see 0 comebacks the entire final series.
It damn nearly happened, but
you know what? Didn't happen in the first game. Didn't happen in the second game. Almost happened in the third game.
Damn near almost happened in the fourth game.
But guess what? It's still fire.
Yeah.
I could go 3 for 3.
You did go 3 for 3. Oh, yeah, but the Adelaide one. Yeah, that one needs to be.
I could go 3 for 3,
You could. We'll have to wait and see with that. A lot is lying on that Adelaide Hawthorn one. That's going to be really good. At Friday night again, Adelaide Oval game. Oh, mate, that's going to be so... There's 2 pretty solid games. Nothing in Victoria, but 2 pretty solid games. But now we are going to Macca's Man of the Week.
Yippee.
Really excited to go through this one because... I mean, just lots of positive stories. And honestly, the donkeys aren't donkeys in the sense of, like, bad stuff. It's more the sense of funny, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So, 1 vote in Macca's Man of the Week. 3rd place goes to Darcy Moore. I think his play in the back line and how he's obviously the captain of the side and structures how that back line plays out, they were fantastic. He excelled on a team level, on an individual level, and... For me, at least, it was a big upset, that one. I know some people pick Collingwood because of their finals experience, but I genuinely thought Adelaide's forward line would be able to crunch them. They got barely anything. And so much so that even when they did get something, Adelaide couldn't find a way to finish it off. So I think Luke Pedlar was one that stood out a little bit.
Had 3 goals.
Yeah, so like he did well, but it's not like you're planning your game around Luke Pedlar. He just took the most of his opportunities. No one else really could. No one else. Tex had a few occasions where he did, but they were very few and far between. It was much more Collingwood get on top of them, and I give a lot of that credit to Darcy Moore. 2 votes goes to Jai Newcomb. A lot of praise to Jai Newcomb throughout the AFL world, and I wanted to give my credit to him because there weren't too many individual statistic standouts on almost all of the winning teams this week. But Hawthorn had a few that I want to give a quick mention to in the sense of Connor McDonald and Jack Inovan damn near had the exact same stat line. But when you have 2 players who are kicking 3 goals and getting 17 possessions, when they're both doing that and they're not your main inside 50 targets, You can't ask for more.
Nope.
You really can't ask. That's 6 goals from 2 blokes, so you're not even hitting up all that often inside 50. They're creating it for themselves. They're helping out their opponents. Oh, sorry, not their opponents. Their teammates. They wouldn't help their opponents.
Nope.
But a lot of their work really, really paid off and made it so much easier for all those involved. Jack Gunston kicked himself a cheeky 3-2, so their forward line was just all over the place, but led by Jai Newcomb and his number 1 man on the ground impact. 3 votes for me had to be for the storyteller, David Swallow. No way I could give it to anyone else in my mind. It just had to be. Sure, not from statistical reasons, but my God, this is a legacy vote. There's a 3 votes in a legacy form. David Swallow, you are a legend. I'm so glad it has paid off as well as it has for him. And the way I talk about it makes it seem as if there's not more to go. There's very much a chance there's more to go.
100%.
Gold Coast were fighting for top 4, if we're being completely honest. They were disappointingly in 7th.
Yep.
If we're being completely honest, a top 4 should not be considered out of the question. I'd even say they should be top 4. They should make it to a prelim. I don't think that it's guaranteed by any means, but no one's counting them out against the reigning premiers. So that's really, really exciting for Gold Coast fans. We're just going to have to wait and see who brings it in that one. But those are the Macca's Man of the Week. Now let's get the Donkey of the Week graphic up. I've got 2 different players.
Okay.
And I mentioned them very briefly. One of them is Cam Rayner. I'm sure I can give it to the umpires as well. And again, it's more because, like, I can't believe in a finals game you're testing the umps that hard. But it paid off for you. So maybe I'm the donkey for thinking that you're the donkey. But
you just are the donkey.
You just look a bit soft, don't you? And you still came away with the loss. So I don't know. I expect a lot more from a man that strong to go to ground that easy. It's a bit strange. But yeah, Cam, sorry, mate. There's one. Second was Riley Thilthorpe for one particular play. Wide open goal. I think he was trying to do the team thing, but in a final, when you're your main forward and you've got no one between you and the goal, please kick the goal. It just reminds me of it's like the anti-Jason Dunstall rant when I think it was Jack Redden in the Miracle on Grass game. From like 50 metres out, tried to dribble kick a goal, and he goes absolutely ballistic. I just imagine Jason doing the same reaction to Riley Thilthorpe giving a hand pass from 15 metres out directly in front with no one in the way. Look, they're more funny. They're both on losing ends, so they're probably going to think about it a lot in terms. Well, maybe not Rayner as much because he actually got a goal from it, but Thilthorpe for certain is one that I'd imagine is going to rue his performance. And thankfully for both these sides, they get a second chance. So a bit more of a light-hearted Donkey of the Week this week.
Like it. I like it.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. You should. But now we're going to have a look at something that I forgot to mention last week and forgot to bring up in the discussion for this for last week's episode was we started off, I think it was episode 1 or 2.
Both.
We did it. Split. Oh, that's right. We split it. I remember now. We created a pre-season ladder or end-of-season ladder as to where we thought every team would finish off by the end of the season. And there's some spot-ons in there, but there's also some very funny ones. Very, very funny ones. So I kind of don't want to go first. I don't want to go first in this one because it's a little embarrassing, some of these ones. Oh, man. Do you want to go one by one? We'll start with 18 and then go up to 1. All right. Yep. We both, I think, had the same 18. Richmond. Yep. And that's why I always give credit to how Richmond have played this year. We expected potentially 0 wins from this team. It was not them. Nope. Obviously, the real 18th side this year was West Coast. Yep. Just an absolutely horrific year on all fronts for West Coast. So Richmond being 18 on both of our ends, understandable at the time, but they literally backed that up in week 1. They literally said, no, we are not going to finish last in week 1. In 17th, I had Melbourne.
Okay.
Not as bad of a year, but definitely the word I used, or the phrase I used, was boom or bust. A massive bust of a year. Just not 17th place bust.
At times I played 17th place football.
They did.
But I remember the one quarter that will forever live on in memory.
You're gonna like. It does create great moments, doesn't
Yes.
it? He won a car out of that game. He actually won a car. I think it was Footy Classified or someone.
Oh,
The people at Footy Classified, they're like,
the Lexus of Blackburn.
yes, yeah. They gave him a car for that game. So more rewarding in individual ways, I think, than in team ways, but it's still very rewarding. The fact that he re-signed from that one.
Yes.
How did we get sidetracked with St Kilda?
I don't know. Me. 17th, I had West Coast.
Yeah, and that's more
Close enough.
That's fair enough.
Close
I think
enough.
I was just very big at the time on Melbourne having a shocker year, and while they did,
Wasn't
not
that extent.
Not that extent, and even then they still lost their coach. Could you imagine if they finished 17th?
Imagine they sacked him earlier in the season.
If they finished 17th, it'd be like Petrarca gone. Oh, there wouldn't be questions about it. It'd be they're gone. They're
Pickett
rebuilding.
gone.
Yeah.
Pickett wouldn't want to stay.
God.
16th.
Big things changed. For me, 16th was West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
That was obviously a bad one because I expected them to do a lot better than one win and one surprise win. They couldn't even beat a bottom feeder. They had to wait
Well, we
until...
were a bottom feeder.
No, you guys ended up pushing for final. Oh, not pushing for finals. That's a big wrong call. But you guys were pushing
definitely.
up the ladder, is what I'm saying.
Eventually, we got there.
But that's not what you wanted to do.
No.
You would have much rather been a bottom four spot.
100%.
And funny enough, I had you in the bottom four as well.
Okay. Well, I had Essendon at 16. Which
And honestly, they
was
could
close
have.
enough.
It is very close.
Yep.
They
were
could have
very,
been
very close.
16th in a different world if they debuted 17 people instead of 15. But yeah, for me, Essendon is very much, oh God. I definitely have had a lot more of an idea that they are having a really poor injury luck season. But even that hasn't stopped the questions of players leaving and all of that type of added talk on top with the idea. Zach Merritt again in the news, considered to be not available per se, but disgruntled, right? He's clearly having a very rough run at Essendon. But
Jordan Ridley, another one.
Jordan Ridley, that as well. Just so many players.
No one wants to talk about Essendon, mate. No one wants to
I love to talk bad about Essendon, I'll be honest.
Okay, well, should we continue to do it?
Well, I got St Kilda at 15. Do you want me to talk bad about St Kilda?
Might as well.
But my last bottom four spot was St Kilda, and they're going to be the most talked about. Where do they finish? Actually,
12th.
They finished 12th.
Yeah.
They're going to be the most talked about 12th place finish ever.
I think so. We already are the most talked about 12th place finished of all time.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. There's no way you're not with the NAS stuff, with his ascension this year, with the fact that you guys have already locked yourself into so many
4 players.
It's
already.
crazy. I don't even know if it could be a culture thing now. It could just be the personnel.
We're just goated. We just have money.
You literally have not won a
Shut up. No,
grand
no,
final
no,
since
no,
66,
no,
mate.
no. Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
You have no culture.
Shut up.
You have no culture.
We have money. That's all we need.
God. So you've got now Silvani.
Yep. TDK.
TDK.
Ryan.
Ali.
Yep. We've said we're going to get Flanders.
Re-sign that, and there's a good chance, dude. It looks like you're about to clean sweep, and I'm pretty confident that Wilkie is not going to leave.
Nope.
Well, I don't need to ask you, but I'm talking about myself because I don't have St Kilda bias.
Okay.
Yeah, it's looking to, if they finish, they should be finals next year.
100%.
Should be.
We need
I
to.
reckon they'll have a bit of struggles here and there trying to fit everyone in and work out where everyone's going to play the best and how to play with each other, but.
The talent we've got now means...
The talent means you should be finals.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
My... did we go to 14?
What was your 15?
My 15 was Melbourne.
Yeah,
which
you
was
hadn't
one
talked
off.
about
Yeah, we talked about that for you.
Same talk, yeah.
My 14 was North Melbourne, which was kind of close.
I'd be happy if they were 14. I really would be happy if they were 14. Do you want to know who I had at 14? Think the worst possible team. To put at 14.
Collingwood.
I put Adelaide.
You had Adelaide at 14.
I thought, because remember, last year they had a really poor season. A really poor season last year.
Yeah.
And of course, we're now talking about this. Riley Thilthorpe really smashed it out this season. Josh Worrell has gone to All-Australian squad contention. There's so many things that have improved from last year, but clearly I just didn't see it. I put him at 14, which is hilarious in hindsight, because 14 is such a smack in the face to these guys. I had North over them. That's how crazy I was.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's really bad. 13, What did you have?
13, I had the Doggies.
And they didn't do as bad. I do remember you saying a lot that they were about to drop off.
Yep.
That you were confident. But like their talent just proved. Shout out to Sam Darcy. He's a big reason why. And he's just helped Norton grow. Like he's helped. There's so many talented people in this team, but their backline is obviously one of the things that didn't improve, which has made it close to 13. But I actually got the dog spot on this season. I'll just give a little spoiler to that. But 13 for me was Gold Coast. I'm on a stinker run at this point. Real stinker run. I just didn't trust them. And could you blame me?
No, not really.
I couldn't trust them. I could not trust them making the finals. And thankfully,
they've won a final.
Yeah, I said at this point, I'm like, I want to put them in finals. I just want them to hurry up and get there. And here we are. They've won a final. In the same episode that we're talking about them winning a final in fantastic fashion, I'm here eating my words about their 13th spot. Who'd you have at 12?
Geelong.
Yeah, you did have a hate boner over these guys, didn't you? You really did not like Geelong.
No.
For me, I couldn't believe that because they just always found a way. Their structure was so good. They added Bailey Smith, which is probably, now that the season's ended, the recruit of the season.
Yep.
So, questionable.
Why did
you think they were going to be that low?
Hate train, and I also didn't trust that they would have enough depth either in their key position players. Turns out they didn't need to because for the most part they stayed healthy and they had the best injury list all year. So
it does help when that happens, especially with an older side. The fact that they didn't get too many injuries is very, very good for them. Or I wouldn't say an older side. They do have a lot of younger players.
Still experienced.
Some of them, I was going to say some of their experienced players can be injury prone and they most of the time stayed out of it. So good on them. 12 for me was Essendon. And this was not thinking about all the injury hell they were going to go through. So 12 was pretty disrespectful, I think, at the time. It was more than it's more than fair now, but that is even 12 was speaking too high of them. Yeah, speaking way too high of them. So, I mean, it's just if we're going to look at just this season, it's purely injuries that have caused them to go this low. I think their team on paper, if everything worked out and they weren't injured to hell, could have made some noise and made me eat my words. But yeah, we don't need to go through them again. We've already talked so much about their injury problems. Who'd you have at 12?
We just mentioned 12.
Who was your 12?
Geelong.
Oh, I didn't think we'd gone. I thought that was your 11. My bad. Who's your 11?
My 11 was GWS.
Oh, yeah, very interesting.
I had them falling out, and I might repeat it next year.
I mean,
potentially.
They're so up and down that 11 doesn't even seem that out of the question. But because of the gap between 10 and 9 this season, it's like anyone in the finals that you had from 10 to 18 is just a bad miss. It's a really bad miss. So, yeah, 11 GWS is not great because they would have had to have a really bad year from what it looks like. And they just did not. For me, Carlton was my 11. That's spot on. That's my first bang.
Let's go.
That's my first correct guess. My first correct answer. My number 10, however, was North Melbourne. This was me being very hopeful. Jesus. I mentioned at the time, my realistic was 14, but my optimistic was 10. They didn't do either of that.
Nope, definitely not.
And so Richmond now have picks 2 and 3 because of that. So North, 16, 10. I've talked so much about North Melbourne on this podcast. I don't want to go too far into depth, but 10 is just a big overestimation. Who did you have at 10?
Freo. And they very well could have finished there had they lost to the Dogs.
If they didn't come back so hard, then and also one game could have seen them in 9th spot. Yep. You're right. So oh my goodness.
It's not the worst. It's certainly not the worst.
Yeah, it's not that far off if it comes down to one game, but hey, that's footy. Number 9, guess what? My second spot on guess.
Doggies.
I had the Doggies. I said they are the definition of mid. And while I think mid is not 9th this year, I think 9th upwards is actually upper level. 10th was probably closest to mid, which I think ended up being Sydney.
Yeah.
I mean, he finished middle of the table, albeit having a great season. Oh, man. 15 wins and not making finals is not what I expected from picking the Dogs 9th. Who'd you have at 9?
9, I had St Kilda. And they finished 12th.
That's not terribly optimistic.
You had us 15th, I had us 9th.
Even it out, you got it right on.
Yep.
We're both winners, basically. We were both spot on.
Oh,
there is a one
God.
team that we forgot to mention in this one. In the bottom 10, of all of this, that I'm about to mention. Port Adelaide. I had them at 8th. Where'd you have Port Adelaide? Actually, no, I'm not going to say it yet.
No.
Who'd you have at 8? Who'd you have at 8?
I had Carlton at 8, and they finished.
They pretty much prove
11th.
They pretty much prove you wrong from round 1.
They literally proved me wrong from round 1.
Oh man, Carlton. Oh, what a year. So 8th ended up being the Hawks.
Yep.
Which is a very interesting one. That's a very interesting little result, especially based on where I put them. I was very high on the Hawks this year, but
Yes, you had them as top 4 locks.
I did, and they very much could have been,
But they weren't,
but they weren't.
which means they're not locked.
7 for you. Who was number 7?
Adelaide. I had it
That
in
was
the
a
finals.
good. That was a good pick.
It's a
I think
lot
7 is a
higher than
good
what
pick.
a lot of people would have said.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's lower than where they finished.
Yeah, no, 100%. You're in almost the golden spot in terms of, right, you high on them when you needed to be, but not so high on them that it seemed outrageous. Because if you had said Adelaide first at the preseason, I would have been like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Even top 4.
Yeah, I would have been
it was
like,
a
what
bit-
the hell's wrong with
being
you?
a bit nuts.
For me, I actually predicted the slide for 7 that I have at 7, but not how far they'd slide. I had Sydney at 7. So after minor premierships and a grand final appearance, I had them slipping to 7.
Okay.
Of course, they slipped out of finals entirely. One, due to a new coach that was trying to work out their system.
Yep.
2, due to horrific injury health at the start of the season. The reason that Sydney finished 10th rather than in the top 8, I will 100% stay on this kind of boat, is that injuries and missing out on those players and being so top-heavy and reliant on them ruined them. I think it ruined the way they played this season. So I fully expect... I would put Sydney in the top 8 again for next season right now. I think Sydney are going to make finals next year. But, of course, things just were not in their favour.
No.
Next, we move to 6. Who'd you have at 6?
Had Gold Coast at 6.
That's a
And
nice
they
one.
finished 7th.
It's a nice pick, though. It's a very, very nice pick. I'm surprised both of our picks were not too bad at all. Was this pick spot on? Hold on.
It was your 6th.
My 6 was GWS.
No, GWS finished 5th.
I
Freo
was
finished 6th.
very close. We were close on both sides of it. That's insane. Oh, man. We're very close on both sides. But, yeah. I mean, considering our 6 was pretty spot on, like, I'd like to think that the rest of them would be all right.
Yeah, no.
There's still a team that I haven't heard yet. Oh, we've got number 5. Who'd you have at 5?
Hawthorn.
That's good. It's a good one.
It's okay.
They played if they did hit 5, they would have played in the same final that they ended up playing in real life, except they just were in the 8th position. That's
correct.
all. But for 5, I had Collingwood.
Okay.
So it ended up not being bad. It looked like a bad pick. It looked like I'd underestimated them during the season, but they cooled off and hit 4. So being one off there
in the end pretty good.
is not bad at all. I'm very happy with that pick. But now we hit the top 4. I can't believe there's a team. There's a couple of teams in here that I haven't heard yet. And one starting with a P. This really.
In third spot, I had.
No.
Please let me get away with it.
Oh, who was your 4th pick?
Port Adelaide.
Why are we so high on Port?
I
Do you
don't know.
remember?
I didn't see them losing many players, and they also gained a couple. Like obviously, they lost Houston, but they gained back the Coaches, and I didn't really see much else that meant they would go down.
Yeah, well,
And they had a horror injury luck as well. They were shocking.
In hindsight, they had Houston, one of their best players. They had him leave, and then they had Lukosius, one of the players they brought in, injured for most of the season. And then on top of that, they had injuries sprinkled around. Horn Francis barely played all that much towards the end of the season.
Rosé was injured. Butters has injuries. Todd Marshall was injured the entire year. Ollie Lord had injuries. Like I could go on and on. They just got butchered with injuries.
Yeah, but 4 is such an upside. Such an upside, considering they lost one of their best players. But like they finished top 4 last year as well. So I can see where you're coming from. But my God, did it not go that way. For me in 4, I had Fremantle. So not a terrible pick. They could have been 4 if they had played their second half of footy or their footy, their season's second half in their first half too. If they had a full season, I think 4 was definitely expected, and they may do so next year. For me, 3 was Hawthorn. That was that top 4 lock situation that I had going on. I think Hawthorn, they definitely... Look, the funny thing is they could be a prelim final team very, very soon. It's just the fact they finished 8th. That seems so crazy to me. Like, how did you go from, in my head, being a top 4 lock to 8th? And I think it's just because the race in the top 8 was so close. So close that top 4 could have been a possibility. It just had to swing the other way for Hawks, though. You're number 2.
I had Collingwood at 2.
Which isn't bad.
It's all right.
It's not bad at all. I think considering they were 1 for so long.
Did I say my 3?
You didn't say your 3.
My 3 was Brisbane.
Yeah,
which
I
is spot
definitely
on.
didn't hit Brisbane. So, yeah, Brisbane was spot on for you. Well done.
Which makes up for my Port error.
Does it?
Almost.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, well, we still haven't heard my 1 yet.
Yeah, I forgot about your 1. All right, yeah. So 3 for me, Hawthorn, 3 for you, Brisbane, 2 for you.
Collingwood, as I mentioned.
Collingwood, yep, as you mentioned. And again, not a bad one. For me, I went spot on again, baby. I had Geelong.
Yep.
I went spot on. And I remember it specifically. I said, these guys always find a way. They always do. You were like, I'm not high on them. I feel like they're going to drop off. I just knew that Geelong will find some bullshit to get them through. I just knew they would. And here they are.
Yep.
Number 2. And then number 1, I'm going to go first to hold it off for you. I picked Brisbane. I thought Brisbane were going to be minor premiers. And not far off 3rd. I'm not mad at the number 1 pick. But who did you have at number 1?
Sydney. So what was your overall ladder again?
Look, I can see why,
Injuries.
but it's injuries. It was the fact that their play was falling off a little bit during the end of the last season too that stopped me from putting them that high up. I just saw a fall off coming, but not as hard as it did. No. And, I mean... Doesn't look good on you, does it? I'd say the Port pick's worse than the Sydney pick.
100%.
100%. Top 4 Port is much worse than Sydney 1.
Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go through every team and see their difference and add those points up and see where we've finished.
I can't do that off the top of my head.
No, but I'm working out yours to do it for you.
Okay.
I've done mine. So I got 66 points, which is about average. It's all right. I don't have a 1 spot. Did you have Essendon finishing 12th?
I had Essendon finishing. They were in. Where are they? 12th. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 3 points. That equals 12. You had West Coast finishing 16th.
Yes.
Okay. They finished 18th. So that's 2 points. You had Richmond finishing 18th. That's 1 point. That is correct. Yes. Yeah.
I like this little mathematics thing that you're doing.
So you had Melbourne finish. Okay. Let me go. You had Richmond, Melbourne, West Coast, St Kilda.
Yes.
Adelaide.
Gold Coast.
Essendon.
Carlton.
North Melbourne, Western Bulldogs, Port Adelaide, Sydney, GWS, Collingwood, Fremantle, Hawthorn, Geelong, Brisbane.
Yes.
I had Richmond, West Coast, Essendon, Melbourne, North Melbourne, Western Bulldogs, Geelong, GWS, Fremantle, St Kilda, Carlton, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, and my top 4 is Port Adelaide, Brisbane, Collingwood, and Sydney.
I love hearing that.
So let me count your points. 11,
I think
16,
with
22.
the way it sounds, your bottom 6 are almost spot on. Like the bottom 6 are pretty good. They're like 1 or 2 spots off each of them. And then as soon as you start going away from bottom 6, it starts getting worse and worse. As soon as I heard Dogs 13, I'm like, okay, it's getting bad now.
So your total was 56 points, which is pretty good.
And what was yours?
Mine was 66.
66.
So you had a much more accurate year than I did.
Hey, what can I say? I just know ball. I have good ball knowledge. I know what I'm doing. That's why I'm the host and you're the co-host.
Ball's on the man.
Hey, stop it, Naz.
I'm just quoting you.
Stop it, Naz.
I'm quoting you.
You're a Naz ball handler
All
is what
I'm
you are.
doing-
You are a Naz ball handler.
All I'm doing is quoting you.
What do you mean?
I'm quoting you.
Oh, get to your tasks, mate. I don't want to hear your quotes about me anymore.
Okay. Well, I do have a back-to-back segment here.
Woo! Woo! I do know what the other segment is, but what could it possibly be, Behm?
We'll start off with Behmmy CT. There were multiple instances in the Thursday night game between Collingwood and Adelaide, obviously. We had the Jordan Goey hit on Josh Worrell. No suspension. Was it a suspension? Probably not. Did look like he was going to smother. However, it did slightly cop him high. To me, this is careless, low impact and high contact, which does not result in a week. Hence, he was not suspended. I'm happy with that. Josh Worrell on Lockie Schultz was slightly more. I think this could be upgraded to medium contact. However, that very barely meets the recommendation of a 1 week suspension. So I'm understandable with him not getting that. But Mark Keane literally elbowing steel side bottom in the head, the back of the head, mind you, is most definitely worthy of a suspension. And you know what he got for it?
Nothing.
He got a $6,000 fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't get any weeks.
Down from $10,000. It was his, guess what offence it was?
Probably sixth.
Sixth offence.
I didn't mean to get that spot on, by the way.
So you elbow someone one time. Oh, it's fine. We'll give you a suspension. You elbow a second time. Okay, maybe don't do it again. We'll hit you with a suspension. Third time. Mate, stop it. Suspension. No. Oh, fine. Okay, yeah. Fourth time. We told you. Stop it.
Mate, I'm going to get angry in a second.
Fifth time. Stop it. I don't like it. Sixth time. I'm going to send you to the principal. Andrew Tillett says, hey, mate, we're just going to give you a suspension. You're fine. Never mind. It's a fucking fine. How? How'd you get away with doing something 6 times?
Sidebottom was so, ready for it too. He was like, yeah, see it. Because the instant reaction from Sidebottom after he'd been hit was basically, yeah, enjoy your time off, mate.
I'm so confused as to how this wasn't given a suspension.
And Jordan DeGoey's is one that I imagine you're going to bring up in a sec.
I just mentioned it 2
did
minutes
you?
ago.
I didn't think you had made an actual mention. Sorry. I'm sorry, all right. But yeah, Jordan DeGoey looks like he could. Did he look like he could get anything for it? Or?
No, he was cleared.
Yeah, okay, thank God. Because if Keane is going to get a fine for it, then let DeGoey off too. I don't know. But
complete bullshit. There was nothing else really over the weekend except for Rayner not getting fined for staging.
He didn't get fined?
Did not get fined.
Oh, my God. So we now know that diving works.
You can do it like Stephen May.
Except you can play finals while doing it.
Yeah, boy.
Anything else on Behmy's TT this week?
I don't think so. I think that's all.
Was it mainly Collingwood?
Yeah.
Surprisingly not
Dirty
much.
players, what do we say?
They'll come from Collingwood and Adelaide, apparently. I don't know. So the finals look now is shaping. It is looking a bit more full after 1 week of finals play. We have 2 games that we're coming into this week that, I mean, they're both pretty exciting because both could go either way. Mm-hmm. And we're going to start off firstly with Adelaide versus Hawthorn. This one in particular, I think, has the potential to really, really get close. I think I know which way it's going to go.
Do you?
But it's just, again, the idea that this has been the matchup. I think this is probably the best possible matchup we could have got. I think if it was Collingwood versus Hawthorn, it would have been a blowout on one end.
Nah, I think Collingwood-Hawthorn would be a ripping matchup.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough,
Yeah.
I guess. But I think this is just as good. I really do. Adelaide versus Hawthorn. They've got so many matchups all over the place. Like, neither team has an outrageous midfield, but they've both got some really nice targets in the forward line, have a decent back line on both ends. For Adelaide, I'd say they're a bit more than decent, but you could also make the argument for Hawthorn. They're similar sides. It's just one has now home field advantage, but also have just proven themselves more with their first place finish. It's just you think Hawthorn with the likes of... This will be a really nice coaching matchup too.
Yep. Matthew Nix is going to need to learn a lot from last week.
Yeah, 100%.
Because Sam Mitchell does play around with a lot of things.
I've given Matthew Nix a lot of credit this season for how he coaches this team, but Sam Mitchell has proven himself very, very well as a coach.
Yep.
And he's coming up against what could be his toughest challenge yet, I think, Matthew Nix.
Yeah, certainly one of them. This is going to be such a good game, to be honest. I think this is better than the other final. I want to talk about the key position stocks because I think the midfield battle is very interesting. We'll talk about it really quickly, but Meek versus O'Brien, two contested ruckmen. Neither midfield really has a distinct advantage over the other. Although Newcombe was very good, I don't think he outperforms Dawson in any way. And they're both very one-paced without their two stars in Day and Rankin. So, defensively for Hawthorn against Adelaide's offensive team, matching up really well. Barras on Thilthorpe, really good matchup there. Barras really likes to be aggressive, and I think Thilthorpe potentially being in the ruck gives Hawthorn that advantage, personally. Sorry, it gives Adelaide that advantage. Also at Adelaide's home ground, so that provides a Blake Slade advantage. Then you've got potentially Bassel on Walker.
How many goals do you think Walker's kicking?
I hope 100. But he's been decent lockdown-wise.
Be very careful with the way you talk about Josh. That is all Australian Josh Battle to you.
Not to me. To everyone else, maybe, but definitely not to me. And then you've got the two of Sicily or Scrimshaw on Fogarty and probably Pedler is the other two. I'd assume it's Scrimshaw and Fogarty, and then they'd want Pedler on Sicily. At least that's what Matthew Nick should be doing, because you want to lock down the intercepting. And then I think Hardwick comes in and plays on Rochelle, assuming Rochelle's fully fit, which he should be. And then without Rankin, there's not much else Adelaide-wise have defensively. Then you look at Hawthorn's forward line against Adelaide's back line. It's the smalls of Hawthorn that really get them going, and it's the tools of Adelaide that really get them going, which is why I find this so interesting. Because you're going to have Murray on Chol. You're going to have probably Keane on, let's say, potentially Lewis, because I think he comes in for Dia, because it didn't really work that well, I don't think. And then you're going to have Worrell on Jack Gunston. And it didn't work out very well for them last time. And then you got the smalls. I don't trust Adelaide's smalls, and I really trust Hawthorn's smalls. So, I think Hawthorn have that advantage right then and there, with it being pretty even elsewhere, except for the fact that it's Adelaide's home game. But because I have my bold prediction of Adelaide losing a straight set, Hawthorn get it done like they did in the first quarter when they played them over there earlier this year. They get it done by 22 points.
So revenge. Bit of revenge.
Revenge of the fallen.
That was cringe.
Shut up.
We got with this one, man, I tend to agree with you on a lot of those aspects. I think with the way that the Crows' backline was, I wouldn't say exposed, but was like overwhelmed with the amount of pressure that was coming in. And it's not like Adelaide have a midfield that's so crazy. Like, they've got fantastic players, but it's not like it's a fantastic enough midfield to stop it from getting there enough, or stop them from making the inside 50 attempts hard. Like, it's not going to make it really difficult for Hawthorn getting inside 50. And because they have so much talent, you really think Hawthorn could run the score up. But you think back to last time, this was such a back and forth game last time between these two sides. I think the Crows are going to make it closer, but I'm going Hawks as well. I'm going Hawks by 5. I think they have what it takes. I really do. And that comes back into my bold prediction as well. I said whoever loses out of Collingwood Adelaide will go out to losing straight sets.
So all that hard work from Adelaide, and they're out in straight sets.
I think they've proven that finals pressure can get to them. Hopefully last week will have made it a bit more of a thing to work off of. But the Hawks matchups, especially going inside that forward 50.
I was very sure that you were going for Adelaide in this one.
No, I'm very, very confident with Hawthorn in this one.
If you're going to give a bold prediction for this game, what are you going with? No, I'm putting you on the spot.
Ginnivan 4.
Ginnivan kicks. I like it. Obviously,
it's either going to be him or Watson who kicks a bag.
Yeah. Okay, so I could do Guinea and Watson that kicks 4. How about that? I
Guinea
like it
Watson.
Because Guinea obviously had the stuff last year with Ken Hinkley at the Adelaide Oval.
Now he just makes fun of Matthew Nicks.
Very well could. Airplane.
Yeah, just starts going airplane mode on it.
We're flying to...
Just stop. Go to the next game. You're gonna embarrass yourself in front of everyone.
My bold prediction is Adelaide kick themselves out and be really inaccurate.
How inaccurate?
Like, I'm talking 8 goals, 20 bad.
Like 2 goals worth of points over.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, that's
Really
a big call.
bad.
That's a very big call. Semi-final number 2, the very first Q Clash final. How are we here? What timeline are we living in? I don't understand it. I do not get it here. This is one that I hope goes a certain way. And the great thing is, I think it could. But this is the reigning premiers. If we're talking about experience last week, this is the reigning premiers against a team who just won their first final.
No Lockie Neal. No Eric Hipwood.
Come on.
Brisbane.
Brisbane will start playing better.
Yeah.
I think Hipwood isn't as big of a deal. Lockie Neal will be. We've seen them struggle without Lockie Neal. And the Suns' midfield is pretty stacked. It's pretty good.
Last week was the week of the tall defenders. When you speak of Darcy Moore, obviously. Tom Stewart was great. Ryan Lester was the opposite of great. And then you got Alex Pearce was great in the last quarter, but so was Sam Collins, and Mac Andrew went forward, obviously. And then you had Tom Barras, who I thought was arguably one of the best on in that Hawthorn Giants game. This week, I think, is the week of the Smalls. So I like your pick, and I think the Lions Smalls are able to get this one done.
Yeah, if you're going Smalls, I would say Lions as well. I want to say Suns. I want them to do just the craziest thing. I just want this season to be known as the year the Suns took over the world. I really do. I want that timeline. But I feel like they've used all their fairy tale magic on last week.
Yeah.
They've got none left, I think.
Unless David Swallow kicks a goal, they're not going to be able to win.
I think, look, the positive thing about this is that they're in Queensland. They're in their home state for a final at the very least. That's a positive. That's fantastic for them. But yeah, I think this is going to be a Lions win. And I'm unfortunately going to say by 40.
I don't mind it. I won't go that far. I'll go about, 28, let's say. But I really hope it's a good game because I don't want to see Gold Coast get
Q clashes
whacked.
have been notoriously poor too. Let's hope that the finals can buck that trend.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so at the very least. But that is episode number 29 of Zero Access Footy. As you can see up there. Be sure to follow us on all of our social platforms. It would be great to see you on those ones as well. We are just so in the thick of all of this finals action, and we hope you guys are too. You hope you're indulging in it with us as well. And we just very much appreciate you tuning into us and tuning into our content. So as we get closer to the grand final, we once again say thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you all very, very soon. Appreciate you guys very much. Catch you later.